Good evening, welcome back to Easy Gates Online Painting Club. My name's Danny, says it right down there at the bottom of the screen. I hope you guys have all been well. There's a little bit of chit chat already going on in the live chat there today. That's brilliant to see. I hope you guys have had a great week since the last week. If you remember last time, just sort of halfway through the show, I started getting a bit of a headache, and unfortunately that was the beginning of a week of migraines. I do get them this time of year. It sucks. So I've had a bit of a rubbish week in terms of headaches and stuff, but I am coming out the other side of it, I think. It's just because here in the UK we're having a bit of a summer. It happens once a year, and it's just the humidity and the air pressure. I think it just gets a bit too much for my little brain. And today I'm much better than I have been, although it does feel like I've been punched in this eye. I have checked. No punching of eyes has occurred, at least that I know of. Could have been that good a punch, I suppose. So yeah, eyes feeling a little bit achy. You had a couple of days where I just couldn't even think straight. It was a bit horrible, really. I did manage to get a little bit of painting done. So if you were here last week, you would have seen that I was starting to paint some little checkpoint gates for the game Gaslands, made of MDF. They're all laser cut. They're really, really cool. And I got a good portion done last week. And I started to do a little bit of sort of detail work, and it's only minor detail work really on these. I started to get a little bit done after the show throughout the next couple of days, and then the headaches just kind of took their toll on me really. I'm hoping to get them finished tonight. That would be absolutely brilliant. It's very rare that I finish a project on the show live on the stream, so it'd be great if I can get that done. So I'm not going to spend too long giving it all of this today, like I like to do sometimes, most of the time. So hopefully I can just kind of get some stuff done. So far we've got Jeff saying oi oi in the live chat. Hi, thanks very much for coming along. We got Keslin. Hi all, I'm hoping to get my current 4 battle mechs finished tonight. I want update photographs on Facebook as soon as they're done. That would be cool. And Stafford Corsley's just joined us. Good evening. Hi guys, thanks very much for coming along. Yeah, we're not just here on YouTube, so if you are new here, you can find us over at Facebook and at Instagram as well. And if you're so inclined, at the end of the evening, you can come along and join me and the rest of the community for some live video chat, or just some typing if you want to, over at Discord. Ha! I pointed to the right one. Here we go. To Discord at the Easy 8 After Party. Which if I'm online during the week, which I'm not at the moment because I am like super busy at the moment, then you can come and join me over there as well. Like I try to put myself on Discord as much as I possibly can. But yeah, you can come along and you can chat to us about stuff that you're doing, or just come and talk if you want. Most people just come and have a little natter really, which is great. If you are new here, we aren't just here on YouTube. We are on all of those platforms that just put up there. Do like, do follow, and do subscribe to the channel, because every little bit that you do to kind of follow and subscribe really helps me grow this channel, and it helps me feel real motivated and really enthusiastic about what we do. And I do get messages every week just saying, hey man, thanks very much for the show, it's really cool, and that fills my heart with warm joy stuff and all those emotions that I can't articulate well. Thank you so much for those people that have subscribed, have followed. Yeah, I love doing the show, and it's nice to know that people do follow and subscribe. That'd be great. Jeff says, I just finished my Scottish Border Wars build. Wow, you did that quick, because there was quite a bit involved in that, wasn't there? Or was that the 3 buildings? You had the one main cottage building sort of house, and then you had the couple of little more sort of hovel style buildings. I think that's what you were talking about, wasn't it? And you put some photos up a little while ago. They looked really cool, and I got to see you the last time I saw you. You were putting on like the first layer of paint over the top of the whole build, so it was kind of bringing everything together and you're making everything look homogeneous. I think I said this last week. I think that's the right word. No one called me out on it last week, so I'm going to go with yes, it is. So yeah, cool. Do let me know what you're working on tonight. If you are, if you're so inclined, to drop a photo over at Facebook. That'd be great. I'm going to take you straight over to the workbench so I can get stuck in straight away. The camera was working a minute ago. Let's go and see if it's working right now. A nice little fade out there with the music. That was good, wasn't it? The camera's working. Deep joy. That was my excited voice. You'll notice I've got a couple of new brushes here. This is the brush that I normally use. This is my Kolinsky number 2. I love this brush. It took a little bit of getting used to, having a brush that you want to look after lots and lots. But it has changed my ways of painting. I would be lost without it. I recently purchased a Raphael Kolinsky number 1 and a 0, and they just basically get progressively smaller. When you're looking at these brushes side by side, it looks like that they are virtually, if not the same length by millimeters, if not less than millimeters. They are the same length. They are ever so slightly narrower, and actually that's a bit of an optical illusion. It's not that they're narrower, it's that there is less stuff basically in the bristles. There's less bristles. There is less of a size of a belly. Oops, just throw them on the floor. So they hold a little bit less, and they have a finer point, so that the smaller that they get, the better they are for doing detail work. I've really enjoyed using this number 2, but it has proven in a couple of cases to be a little bit difficult when you're trying to get into some of the more narrower places and some of the more tinier places that you need, especially with the Tyranids that I've been painting. It's been a little bit on the bulky side. So by reducing the size of the belly, I didn't know what the size difference was going to be between them. So I got these two. I got them as a little bit of a deal on Amazon. They haven't been used yet. They still got the barcodes on them. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to kind of using these ones. I think what I might do today, if I'm going to use either of these two, because this one is enough really for what I am using, I might use the number 1 because there's no real need to use the smallest small. So I might just go down this one here just to see if I can get away with using a slightly narrower point. You can see that they are narrower, but it is because of the size of the belly of the bristles. Hold fractionally less paint, but they do provide a narrower point, which is cool, right? Yeah, look at me upgrading my painting stuff. So I'm gonna move over to the Raphael number 1. It has got its paint and brush stiffener stuff, gel. I actually did stiffen the number 2 with my brush repair gel. It's exactly the same stuff. If you're ever wondering, is this worth it? Absolutely, do get it if you feel like spending just a couple of quid for a green stuff world. It really does help you look after your expensive brushes. I barely bother doing it with my cheaper ones. Just to get rid of it, just going to dip in a little bit of water, and I'm just going to gently push that belly down and just kind of split all the bristles up. And it's soluble stuff, so just a little bit of water, just loosen it all up, treat it nice and gentle. Can't talk again tonight. Gentle. There we go. And now give it a bit of a dry off with a tissue. Now, because it is a new one, I'm expecting a few teething troubles with it today. That's absolutely fine. I might get the occasional rogue bristle or something. That's cool. Just trim them down or try to tease it back in. Sometimes they don't want to be teased back in, so you've got to be a little bit unkind and trim the occasional bristle. So some comments going in. Jeff says, oh yeah, you just finished my Scottish border build. Staff says, building an SD KFZ 234 for my Rutherford team. You can call it a Hanomag. It is much easier on the tongue, no matter what language you speak. It is a Hanomag, and they are cool machines. They are basically German half-tracks from the Second World War. They are cool, and they did various different types, and the different numbers I think means the different variants, sort of weaponry they had. Did they carry anything other than troops in? They always carried troops generally. Then Jeff goes on to say, yeah, big Bastille house and 3 cottages, plus a ward pig pen and a few haystacks. Cool. And then Jeff says, ooh, I can borrow your new brushes. Can I borrow your new brushes? No, you may not, because the way that you go through them, no. These are about £15 a brush. I got them a little bit cheaper, because if you shop around on Amazon, sometimes you can find them a little bit cheaper. It's a little bit cooler here today, and the headache is feeling a little bit better. It's a little bit more chill and relaxed in the studio. So it's a Friday. Beer up, right? Staff says it's an 8-wheeler. Is that an 8-wheeler? No, I was going to say Hanomag. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. An 8-wheeled Hanomag, or is that the 8-wheeled armoured car? Because I might have got my numbers wrong by the sounds of it. SDKFZ, I thought that was a Hanomag. Cool, I've learned something. Live on air. Danny gets embarrassed. I don't get embarrassed. Teach me something new. So, what I did last week on the gates that I was painting, I sprayed them all silver. I did the little concrete bits at the bottom. I did the kind of the soil, if you want to call it that, the dirt. And then I did the signs, and I wanted to do all the numbers blue. I know that the number itself is white, but all the backgrounds to it blue, and then all the trim and the numbers themselves white. I finished this one last week. That's cool, right? Staff says armoured car. Yeah, look at that. I've learned something. I thought all the SD KFZs were Hanomags. There's so many numbers. So I've done all the backgrounds on all of the gates, and what I did, if you've been watching on Facebook, you will see that I put an update on there for the start, which was in green, obviously. The red, the finished one is in red. Gave it away there, didn't I? Spoilers. So yeah, basically the only white bits I've done is on that number 1 and on this side of the start. So today, literally my main focus is to get all that white done. So here we go. Literally just painting all white. It's going to be a bit of a slog, but sometimes you just got to go through it. You just got to get there. So I'm going to put a healthy amount of white in the palette there. And what I have found is that a little drop of airbrush flow improver really helps it. Helps me with the detail work. Ever so slightly thicker than water. Thicker than paint, perhaps, probably the best thing to say there. So it is worth just kind of putting in one drop. It's easy to control, and then just gonna mix that in, and it just makes the paint transferring onto the model that little bit easier. Cool. Not gonna go wild with mixing it up there. That's fine. So, time to break in the new brush. Jeff says the 234, has that got the Pack 40 on it? Pack 40 is a big gun, isn't it? I thought all the SDKFZs were all Hanamags. Shows how much I know. So here we go. All I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to do all the trim. Such a good set of brushes. It's a really big gun, not sure. Probably is something like that then, isn't it? Do you know what? Google is your friend, right? Now you'll notice that I'm not painting that centre line. That's because I wanted to make it look like that this is essentially a steel frame with like giant billboards or something put on it. So yeah, I'm just painting the pieces either side of that centerpiece. There we go. It does, when I'm painting over the silver, it does require a couple of coats. You can see that it's much thinner. Lights are quite strong, aren't they, today? You can see that it's much thinner there. That's fine, that's okay. The biggest problem I've really got with painting these things is the fact that they're so wide. That white there is virtually disappeared already. Like it's soaking into the MDF, which it didn't do last week, and I was totally prepared for it to do that. So I find it quite weird that if the silver paint is still on the top and that didn't soak in, that any other paint on the top would soak in through that first layer of paint. So it must just be that it's kind of spreading out, and it's just particularly thin. White's not the strongest of pigments anyway. Love these brushes. If you're ever wondering, should I buy an expensive brush? Go buy an expensive brush. It'll change your life. Cool. Okay, so that's going all the way around the outside. While I'm doing these outside bits, I don't know if I actually need the flow improver and anything that I can do to save diluting an already very thin paint might be a good idea. I just found that throughout the week and on last week's show, it just helped me move the paint around when I was trying to get it in like the letters and whatever. I'm desperately trying to not get it in those lines, in those laser etch lines, because where the laser is obviously kind of cut or burnt into it, it's left it darker. And I'm kind of relying on that as a natural pin wash, if you like. This brush feels like it needs a bit of wearing in. The bristles are all a little bit wild. When I'm drawing backwards here, I can see all the bristles kind of flaying out at the end. And my number 2 brush doesn't do that so much, probably because over the course of using it, the bristles have started to kind of bend in a certain direction that is, you know, relevant to the way that I use the brush. A certain amount of personalization, if you will. Like writing with a fountain pen or a calligraphy pen, you shouldn't use somebody else's. So maybe you shouldn't use somebody else's expensive paintbrush. Not because it's expensive and they don't want you to use it, but it might ruin it. Gone through that paint very quickly already. Make sure I'm in shot. So hard to get some sort of angles. That's a flake of paint there. That's telling me I should probably clean out my palette. Definitely need a bit of paint in that palette there. I'm not going to put any flow improver in there this time, so I'm just doing the outside at the moment. Let's just see if that makes any difference. Definitely feels like it's been a few days since I've been painting. When I was doing these throughout the week, I was getting pretty fast at them. And I know that I'm a slow painter. I'm definitely feeling slow today. Just that little bit there, just trying to get in between those features. It's quite difficult actually. Such a simple looking thing. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So the trim's sort of finished there. It actually went on a bit more opaque on the front than it did on sort of the outside edges. And that should be pretty much dry now, so if I was to stick on another layer, pretty easy. You can see that even still now, it's still got a edge of translucency to it. And I wonder if that's the fact because it's a metallic colour underneath. People have always said to me metallic colours are really difficult to paint over. I've never really experienced that before, but this might be my first experience with it. That went on quite heavy there. I'm going to sort that out. Now, like I said last week, I'm not really overly fussed about how they look. I'm not going to go crazy detailed on them. I just want them to look smart. That's certainly better covering there, isn't it? Here we go. Darren has joined us. Hello, Darren. Thanks for coming along, mate. I hope you're doing well. What have you been up to recently? Have you been working on any model stuff? Have you had the time? That's looking pretty cool. It's going to look really nice when the letters are painted on it as well. I'm just going to let that sit and settle. Can now be called sittle. We're going to let it sittle for a minute. Just while the paint kind of, dries properly, does its thing. So that I can put my hands all over it when I come to paint the letters. So, what I'm going to do, because number one is done, I'm just going to chalk number one off. I'm just going to put you over there. Chalking it off, that's a very that's a very colloquial term. I'm just going to put one over there and start over there. And then I'm going to come to one of these little ones here. That one took a bit longer to do because it is about 3 or 4 times the size. So hopefully these other numbers here should be quite easy. I'm going to do all their borders first, just because I feel that that's monotonous work. It's a bit boring. Doing the numbers and the letters is actually quite fun and exciting. And I want the feeling of progress, because even if I don't get them done tonight, I want a lot to have been done. Oh, there's another lump of dry paint there. Definitely need to clean my palette out, don't I? Get off. Bye-bye. There we go, lovely. A bit of something poking up there. I think that is probably just a bit of MDF fibres. Careful about little bits of paint just coming over the edges there. I'm going to neaten them up, but obviously they've kind of poured over the sides when I've gone on a bit heavy on the top, and they will dry lumpy and it will bother me. I know I said I don't really care so much about the end result, but I still want to take care and pride with them. Darren says he's making gauntlets, metal gloves, real ones as well. Sounds cool. Right, that's the sides done, and now the little border on the front. Much easier to get my hand in position on these ones as well, because I don't have to hold the brush at a weird distance away. Last week, in my spare time, I was practicing painting these and had like a little citadel paint pot underneath, and it just kind of rested there at the perfect height, allowing me to kind of just single-handedly do it. I didn't get on with that very well when I was practicing, but I'm going to have another go at it now and see if it makes any difference. Yeah, it's not so bad. Cool, right? Let's see. I can go this way. Make sure I get more paint on the brush there. Brush is ever so slightly tricky to use because it's brand new. But it is still a good brush. Bit trickier on that side there. Also made tricky by the fact that I definitely need to clean that brush out. There's a lot of drying paint in there. I can see it building up. It's gross. Look after that brand new brush, eh? Just looking back, there's another comment in there from Jeff saying it's a V12 engine in the German armoured car. That's a big gun with a big engine. There we go. Cleaned out that brush. Back to the paint. Oh, that's made all the difference. Rogue bristle sticking out already. It happens within the first few minutes, hours. Start making appearances. It's okay. Nothing too alarming at the moment. Okay, and the outside edges. You think this is quite a simple process, but it still takes a really long time. So maybe I'll do a couple at a time so that I can get a couple finished. That'll be nice for the show, and it'll be nice for me, as, like I say, like a sense of progression. So perhaps I'll do this one and the start sign and get those finished. One thing I'm not going to be able to do on them today is the static grass, but that's not painting. It's time consuming in the setup, it's very messy. I've got a fan on, that's probably not good, right? But I mentioned the static grass applicator last week, and when I did, I actually got quite a few messages going through on Facebook, on YouTube, etc., saying that they, really looking forward to seeing the applicator being used. So, or like I've said in the past, I want to do other types of show, like how-tos and things like that, and things that how I know and how I know to use them, or how I've learnt to use them. Not explaining myself very well there. Just kind of showing you how I do it, and the successes or the failures that I've had in learning myself, teaching myself. You kind of get to see how things work. I'd like to do things like that. I've not really done an awful lot of things like that because I think that there's a wealth of that sort of stuff out there already on YouTube. If you want a tutorial on something, then you can go and find those things. But people have said that they want it, and I want to do it because you guys want me to. And I've got a few things that I want to put some static grass on now anyway. If you remember, some months ago I did an Eldar piece of terrain, which I've done, it's soil on on the bottom in the same way that I have on these gates. I want to do that same sort of thing with static grass, so I'll have a go with it. Try and bring it onto the channel, but in a different show. It's got a big thing, so I would need to kind of lift the camera up and change the angles and things like that just to get it in so that you can see it, and it's obviously it won't be like just in a tiny piece of the frame. So yeah, there's things to consider there, but I do want to do it. Now for the front of this frame. Starting to get into a bit of a groove now, which is good. I wanted to be painting just before the show, kind of getting a bit of a head start on it all. That not only gets some stuff done before the show starts, but it allows me to warm up a little bit. But I was out of work a little bit later than I wanted to, because I've had a bit of a gnarly headache all week. I wasn't able to make the schedule for the show on Facebook like I normally do. I actually had to do that just earlier on today, so apologies for that. If you were waiting for that schedule to come out a day or two earlier like I normally do, sorry it wasn't out earlier. It happens sometimes. Normally it's because I'm busy. This time it's because it's just been a bit of a sucky week. We are busy at work at the moment. June is a very busy month for us. It sort of dies down a little bit and the responsibilities change, and yeah, my work's up and down, week on, week off. But yeah, definitely this week because of headaches. And then just before the show started, I had to go feed my new cats. They're taking an interest in being in the studio. I have let them in from time to time. They were in here just earlier on. They do like to jump up on things, which is not great when you've got lots of pointy things like brushes and tweezers and knives and things. So I do try to discourage them coming in unsupervised. They are right now sat behind the door again, right behind me. And last week and the week before, I was going to bring them in during the after party on Discord. People come online to come and see them, so I can introduce you to them, and they buggered off. Right, so that's the frame done on that one there. I'm going to come back to the start one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the letters on it now. Once that's done, one more quick go around the frame just to kind of set that in. I'm going to have another go at using this paint pot. It was working for me a minute ago. Actually, no, do you know what? Just even thinking about it's kind of making me feel like I don't want to. Yeah, here we go. I really like doing lettering, but it does take a while. And it's not like the numbers where there's just one number. There's 5 letters on this one. And this is where I might find that a little bit of flow improver will really help. Even a smaller brush. I'm already noticing a difference from using the number 2 last week. Just make sure that my camera's still working, because sometimes it likes to freeze, but it is working fine. Myself and a few others managed to get a game of Gaslands in just in the last few days. And one of the days where I was feeling a bit more capable. And yeah, we played a race using these gates. It was good to see them on the tabletop. And so I didn't win. I thought I was going to win. It was a slow start for me, but I like a slow start game. I like to have a slow, easy burn and then cruise to victory. It was not to be the case. For myself, Stafford, who's in the live chat there, and Kessin, who's also in the live chat, we all got together, played this game, and we got worked by Dave, who's not online right now, but probably will be in a bit later on. So we can all hassle him a bit later, for he was about half a game ahead of us. So he just got to sit down and chill out with a beer for the evening and watch the rest of us play, securing a victory for himself. It was tough to watch. Stafford sacrificed second place to try and stop him. Didn't work. Very close though, very close. It was a great game. We've had a string of games recently that we played that have been like particularly close or just generally really good fun. Because you can get into a bit of a rut with any game, play it too much, it just becomes a little bit, I suppose, stagnant after a while, and sometimes you don't even realise it, and before you know it, you're not really having fun with it. We've been playing Gaslands quite a bit, but the last couple of weeks we've been playing some games. We've had a wicked time. So you have to clean this brush out. It's drying pretty quick here. In the bristles of the brush. Quite a curve around that R there, just making sure that the paint goes in there. Another rogue bristle. you can see that as I'm going through the painting, occasionally I kind of go back and I just do like a little quick touch on something that I've just done, and that's just as the paint is drying, you kind of reveal some areas that I've missed or not hit with a decent enough layer. As the paint dries, it becomes a little bit more obvious, so I just kind of go back to it and yeah, just make sure that I'm not leaving like, you know, big gaping patches of, you know, missed bits. It's the best way of describing it. I can see some comments going in. Let's go back and have a look at those. Stefan says, and my car hasn't exploded. Not once in the campaign, but that's because you're not carrying a giant nuclear reactor on your car. But Dave might as well have, because the speed that he was booking was unreal. Just nitro every single turn. But as we identified, was a little bit flawed and we didn't fully understand the rules for that, which is okay. We'll let him have the victory because, you know, we still played it. It was still good fun. Cool, that is looking pretty cool, right? Like it, brilliant. Just gonna keep washing those bristles out. I'm actually gonna move over to the number 0 and just see what difference that makes. So here's the number 0. It's got that gel in it, so I'm just gonna break it down a bit. Just see if it's any easier for using on the lettering, where, you know, having slightly smaller amount of bristles might be a little bit easier for tracking around. You can already see there's a little bit there that's just dried on that R. That's much easier to use this little one. Oh my god. Got a slight tremor going on in my hand today. Maybe I'm still not very well. Yeah, I think some flow improver is going to help here, because it's the paint just seems to be drying in the brush faster than I can get it onto the letter. I'm going to be honest with you. It's doing me head in. Okay, right, that's it. It just literally cannot get it onto that letter at all where I want it to go. Jeff says, I know how to deal with Stafford's new Puma. Oh, is that what it's called, a Puma? You need a flatbed truck with an Easy 8 Sherman lashed to the back. Jeff Stafford. Yep, do you know what? That's what I'll do. That's an expensive build though, isn't it, in the game? Finish the beer, lovely. Got a cup of tea waiting for me right there as well. Kessler says, I've just realised that the clear bases I'm using have a film on them that I have not been removing. At least you can remove it though, right? Right? You can go ahead and do that now. It means that you can probably get away with painting them lots. And, you know, oh look, my main camera's frozen. You can get away with painting them lots and then just kind of remove the film. I'm going to go back to my main camera and see if it's going to like restart my camera. It's unusual that that one stops. Weird. Do you know what? You don't need to see me right now. Let's just go back to the workbench and see what happens. Normally it's the other one that does it. So I don't have like a fix for that. you could just have a look at me looking down. You don't need to see my ugly face anyway. As long as you can still hear me, right? And as long as you can still see what I'm doing over here, that's okay. That's cool. I have so many problems with my cameras, man. It's because the cameras are all the same model. Because they're really good cameras. So why would you have different cameras if you want them all to be the same? Yeah. And that does my head in too. That one might have been a bit more difficult because the paint might just be getting dry in the palette. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wash the brush out again, and I'm now going to mix up some more paint, and I'm going to put a drop of airbrush flow improver in there as well. Jeff says, how many mechs? 10, I think, says Kez. 10 that you've painted that have got that plastic film on them. Well, yeah, man, like I say, it's at least you'll be able to remove it and, you know, have a nice clean base. Drop of flow improver. I'm just going to get my crappy little brush and mix it all up. It's weird stuff, flow improver. Don't really know how it works. It's like a weird sort of semi-gel liquid thing. It's yeah. What makes a paint more transferable? It must be some sort of like medium. I don't know. I find it fascinating, but I'm not a scientist. A paint scientist. Okay. Much quicker, much easier with that flow improver in there. Didn't need it so much when I was doing the borders, the trim. But doing these letters, makes life much easier. See where I struggled there, where it's not gone on so well. Just patch that over. Final letter. I might have to come back and, you know, put a bit of touch-up work into them once they're done, like maybe tomorrow or something, or over the next couple of days. But that's okay. It's not like doing the whole thing. That's like sit down for half an hour and you do the whole lot really. A dab of paint here and there, just making sure that it's all nice and opaque. And again, you know, I'm not desperate, trying to like take the pressure off of myself, teach myself not just how to become a better painter, but how to deal with imperfection, and it's okay to leave something that isn't as perfect as I want it to be. I wonder if any of you guys struggle with, you know, the seeking of perfection. Do you find it difficult to kind of leave it? Do you know when to stop and go like, this is a model that I don't necessarily want to be, you know, that I don't want it to be as detailed as all my other bits and pieces. I'm quite happy just it being a little bit more, you know, just sort of, you know, well, not more, but less detailed. I don't want to put all that effort into it. It's just a fun and games game. It's not like one of my more serious things. Can you let go? Stafford says that he's had to leave. We'll go pick up the girl child. We'll try to be back in time for Discord. That's fine, man. You live your life. Go collect your kids. See ya later. I'd hate for Easy 8 to become like the reason for child neglect. That'd be awful. But at least you'd be dedicated to your painting. There we go. Couple of patchy bits here and there. Like I can say, I can come back and do those another time. That R is awful. That's better. Got this bit on the T there. Sick, as all the kids say. Brilliant. Okay, so I can leave that one. Come back to that later when I need to. Got a number 2 to do now, but not like that. Keep your lewd comments to yourself, please. I'm going to have a sip of tea. Yum yum. It's my concentration voice again. Trying to just tease that paint out there a little bit, just out to the outer edges. Desperately trying to not get it into the grooves. It's like being a kid again with a colouring book and staying inside the lines. And it's really fun. Lovely. Gonna wash the brush out because I think I was struggling there because of that. We'll, in just a minute, we will stop and we will have a quick break. I'm just going to get this number 2 painted here. And then I'm going to see if I can, during the break, see if I can solve the problem with that camera. It's bothering me a little bit. You don't necessarily need to see it. I mean, at least you can see what I'm doing here. That is the most important thing. And that you can hear me. I hope you can still hear me. Number 2 has got a lot of curves in it. Enjoying the new brush though, that's great. Oh, look, I've gone over a little bit. That's not to worry. I mean, I can come back in with some blue later on and neaten them up. I am expecting to do that a little bit anyway. Can't always get it right, can you? There's always going to be a little bit. Because the blue is quite dark compared to the white, it does show up quite easily. Last little bit. Yeah. Something like that. Nice. Cool. We're happy. Ah, Jeff says, yep, we can hear you. Cool, brilliant. Well, that's the most important thing. You can see what I'm painting, you can hear what I'm talking about. My camera, I'll see if I can sort it out. Anyway, we're going to have a 10-minute break. So if you need to kind of go stretch your legs, refocus your eyes, now's the time to go and do it. But whatever it is that you are going to do, you should definitely make sure that you go and change your paint water. Do it. Shall we see if that camera's working now? Let's see. There was very little that I could do to it. I'm hoping that it just comes on. Here we go. It's just not working at all, is it? Okay, let's go to the workbench and let's stop messing around. Is the workbench working? The workbench one is working. Well, that's the thing at least. I might have to see if I can unplug the camera, plug it back in, see what happens. Anyway, I hope you had a decent break. What I have been doing that you can't see is I've just started on another gate. So I've got number 3, and I've got my number 2 brush out because I thought that it might make painting the trims a little bit quicker, and it is. So yeah, I'm finding uses for the different brushes that I've bought already, which is great. So yeah, you can see what I'm doing here. And it might be because, like I said earlier on, I know I'm no specialist on brushes, but it might be because I've used this brush a little bit longer. Oh, excuse me, a hiccup. That it works better in my hand. Oh, poo pants, he says as he gets the white on the blue. Ugh. That's frustrating. Never mind. Let's see if I can get a point of this one in there. I had a mild paint explosion just before the end of the little jazz set. Squeezing out just a tiny bit more white paint into the palette, and I think there was a little bit of a blockage in the paint tube, so I ended up with quite a splooge. Didn't go everywhere, fortunately. It is just a bit more paint than what I wanted in the palette, so I put in a couple of drops of flow improver in there, so the consistency of the paint is a little different, but it all seems to be paying off, which is good. Cool. It's definitely different on the bits that have been painted silver, as you can see. And there's no point in coming in too thick with it. It's not that there's any detail that I don't want to end up covering. It's just that the paint is quite watery because it's an airbrush paint, and it just ends up running everywhere if you put too much on, and you get big blobs. And no one wants that. There's barely anything here, but put on a second coat, much better. Lovely, so that's that side there. The number 2 is done. It's cool. So yeah, bit annoyed about that blue bit, but I can go over that later, that's fine, easy peasy. Wash the brush out, keep those brushes moving. I'm going to unplug this camera and see if it makes it come back on. You never know, right? You never know. But in order to kickstart it, what I've got to do is I've got to go back to the intro screen. Bear with me. You'll still be able to hear me. I'm still here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a bit of an unplug. And when I say unplug, a bit of an unplug, I mean I'm going to take it right out. And then I'm going to plug that bad boy back in. Let's see if that does it. Yeah, it has made the autofocus come back on, but that's better than not being able to see me. I'm back, here I am. Gonna go back to the workbench and hopefully that camera works, because that will be very frustrating. Yes, cool. Hi, I'm still here. Oh, the fiasco I have with cameras, just make them work. How are your projects going this evening? I would love to know what's going on in the world of your paint bench at the moment. Have you got those battle mechs finished yet, Kez? Are they getting close to being finished? Did you say, Jeff, that Scottish Bastille is finished? Or is it being finished? Or is it in a box ready to go to that customer? Stafford's not here to talk about his Rutherford team. but I'm sure he's making good progress with those because he paints through those Gaslands teams pretty quickly. Look how thin that first layer goes on. You let that dry and come back and put a second layer on, and it's like you've got 3 or 4 layers on it. I'm just starting to notice how patchy the silver is, but that's okay because it's taking me to, you know, looking so up close to see that. Now I was going to weather these. Kez says, I'm on the last bit. So Stafford's back. Wow, that was fast, Stafford. You said you were going to be back for Discord. Turns out you were back in time for the second half. Wicked. I have got a sneeze coming on, so might have to just checking I've got some tissue. I've got loads of tissue. That's good. Yeah, I might have to pause the microphone in a minute for that. Yeah, what I was going to say was I was going to weather these just a little bit, give them a little bit of rust and grime. I'm not sure how I feel about that now, because seeing all the colours on them, they actually look really nice, being quite plain and simple. So I might do a test on them. Just get one of the gates once they've all been done, and just practice a little bit of rust or something on it, like a nice bit of rust colour, nice bright one, and just practice a little bit of, you know, sparse sponging, and see if it does anything for it, knowing that if I just do it to 1, if I don't like it, it should be easy enough just to come back with a little bit of silver paint and go back over it, right? So that's my plan. It's very tempting for me, someone who's into griming paint techniques and things, to want to just do it to everything. Oh look, I've hit the blue again, look. Having a bad day. But that's okay, I'll go over that bit as well, I suppose. I like griming techniques, but you don't have to do it to everything. And it's got me thinking about, you know, having different painting styles, and I'm sure this is a topic that I've spoke about before. But it's something that's pushed my painting skills to develop a little bit, and that's to try something new and to do a different thing. I really got into painting rust and grime and things on some of my in my historical builds, like my tanks and things. I really enjoyed doing it, so I started looking into the sort of the grim dark style of painting, which is basically overcooking that sort of grime and rust effect. It's very effective. Got really into it. I was like, I want to do all my, you know, Warhammer armies and things like this. But doesn't that just kind of get a bit old? It's like having the same ingredients for every meal you cook. So I thought, no, I want to keep my Tyranids quite poppy, not to be comic-y, but I just wanted the colours to be quite bright and bold, and, you know, rely on creating the character with my painting to sort of make them look mean or menacing or angry or, you know, grr. Don't need them to be all grim dark. And there are some really nice grim dark Tyranids out there. I've obviously had a look for them, and it does make me a bit jealous, but I'm really happy with my Tyranid paint schemes. And then I did my Adeptus Mechanicus, which is, you know, the Martian Skitarii warriors, for those people that aren't so familiar with Warhammer. And I wanted somewhere in the middle with them. I wanted them to be a bit more grittier, but I still wanted some nice colours on there. And I have toyed with using grime colours on them, but at the moment I'm just enjoying what they look like. So yeah, I think it's important to have different styles, different techniques that you can dip in and out of depending on what you're painting. And I think it makes it a bit more interesting for you, you know, to have different things that you can do, to not always rely on the same techniques or the same styles. Something that I really would like to have a go at, but I have no idea on how to start it yet. I think it's called hard cell, which is painting them like they've come out of a comic strip. So they're essentially outlined. So there's lots of contrast with lots of you know, black lines and things, and yeah. And that, of course, would be very poppy. And I started to view my Tyranids in that style, but they're not. They're far from it. It's very yellow. If you excuse me, I am just going to blow my nose. It appears I've got a bit of a cold coming on. Bear with me. It always feels weird taking my headset off, coming out of the world of Easy 8, knowing that the show is still running. It's a bit bizarre. So I've done the trim on number 3 gate. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to do the trim on number 4 gate, and then I can just do those numbers and try and make that nice and quick. The idea here is to get as much done as possible. What I'm not going to get done tonight, I think, is I'm going to get the red finish one done. It looks really smart, doesn't it? When you can see all the blue numbers and then like the green start one. I think it looks really cool. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that one done tonight. That's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how well I'm doing for time getting these number ones done, because I would also like to do a bit more concrete on them as well. However, I don't have my textures, so maybe it doesn't matter too much. Looks like I'm not going to finish them today. That's okay. Don't rush it because you want to get them done. That would be a bad thing. If I finish them during the week, of course, I will make a little video and I'll put it up on Facebook to let all of you guys know. And then I'll take photos so that you can see it all. I'll put them on Instagram and stuff. Okay, I've got too much clutter on the table here. You can go over there. You can also go over there, and then number 3 can move back. T. Some more comments going in. Jeff says, what scale is Gaslands closest to? Is it 50mm or 20mm? Staff says it's 15mm. It's approximately 176. It's actually 1/64. And it is actually written somewhere in the original rulebook, I think. But I did find it out. It had it confirmed, even if it's not. I do go searching for this because it's the templates to the game are made to fit the general scale of most Hot Wheels cars. And Hot Wheels cars aren't necessarily all in scale to themselves. I've got a Metro bus that's the same size as a Mini. But the general sort of size of that, and the size of a Hot Wheels car or a Matchbox car is 1/64. Which, if you are interested to know, is S gauge for model trains. It fits perfectly into that. So if you wanted like some cool like scenes and terrains, or you wanted like modify like a train thing for it, you could buy S gauge. However, S gauge is one of the rarer train gauges to find, and therefore is by far the most expensive, which is a shame. Oh, that was some perfect edge painting there. I got right into that. I was in the zone. Oh, did I not paint this side? Doesn't look like it, does it? There we go. Lovely. I'm gonna sneeze. I've definitely got a cold coming on. I don't really get colds. It's quite a shocker to me when I do get them. They tend to not last very long with me. Unless it's the flu. In which case, it kicks my butt every time. So yeah, hopefully I don't have that. I normally have a flu jab because of it, but because of COVID-19, it's been very difficult to get hold of a flu jab lately. And rightly so. It should go to people who, you know, more vulnerable or older, etc. So if I get summer flu, oh my god, screw you, flu. I'm in the right place as Zen today because it's lots of small bits. I'm seeing lots of progress. It's been really good. Feeling pretty good about it. I'm enjoying my little family of Kolinsky brushes now. I've been wanting to have like a little set of them for a long time, and it's nice to finally be able to have them and kind of choose between them, choose and use. Just checking my camera's still working. It is, that's great. Lovely, now I'm going to do the front of that frame there as well. Having that big pool of white paint has been quite helpful. I don't like to pour lots of paint in one go because of the obvious potential waste. You know, paint is a premium cost. If you're doing it all the time, you're going to be wasting it, and also we shouldn't be wasting stuff, right? You know. So I often like refill regularly, because, you know, because I just don't want to end up wasting anything. Oh, look, I ruined it. I've got a bit on the silver. Alright, clean the old brush out. Can I get rid of that? Yeah, I can. Lovely. I feel like I'm struggling to get into that a little bit. I might come in with one of the smaller brushes. Don't know suddenly why on that particular one. Come back in, do a bit more painting on these bits I've already done here, make it a bit more defined. Yeah, I'm going to get the smaller brushes to finish that one off there. For some reason, I don't know why, I got kind of like nervous about going in there to finish off that border with that brush. So I'm gonna come in with me my Zero. I enjoyed using that one. Cool. Well, I'm going to go back to number 3 because I'm going to paint the number on him now. I can see that bit of white on that blue. It's really annoying me. Frustrating. Anyway, what am I going to do next after these? I'm probably going to get on to painting my little bunkers, I think, because I'm on a little bit of a terrain trend at the moment, and they'll be really easy to do, like a quick spraying concrete greys and some dry brushing. You can grind them up a little bit. They're for a different game where I would like them to be a little bit more grubbier, but not too much, but you know, a little bit of grime and go a long way, I think. And those bunkers, of course, are used for the little tanker game that I like to play, What a Tanker, or any game, I suppose, in 15mm. And I suppose that brings me into a nice segue into talking about Easy 8 going back on tour, because we went on tour some months ago now. Can't even remember when it was, but we went to Bovington Tank Museum. I say we because Easy 8 and myself, and we met up with some of the community. Quite a few of us all got together and we went to the Tank Museum, which is in Bovington, which is just over the border of Devon into Dorset. I say from the border of Devon because I live in Devon in the southwest, for those of you that don't hail from here. It's not that far from where I live. It's quite nearby. It's only a few hours away. It's quite a simple trip out, and I don't know why I haven't been there more regularly. I've been there a couple of times, but I could go there all the time. It's so fascinating. But of course, the last time that Easy 8 went there, it was we got together for a model show that was down there. So it was like a double-edged, sword. It was like we could go there for the models that were going to be there, and for the Tank Museum itself. We had a wicked time. It was a great day out, and we didn't get to see everything because there was just so much stuff there. But one of the main problems was, once we'd seen all the models, and as cool as they were very cool, but we wanted to see more of the tanks, but the displays were kind of in the way of the tanks. So we promised that we would all go back. So lately, conversations have started circulating, and I think we're ready to kind of take that trip back out there again. We do want to do it straight away because, you know, it'll kind of, I suppose, be a bit boring. We've only just done it, but we're kind of getting ready to go back out. When that's going to be, we haven't set a date yet, but I've been talking with some of the guys in the community to start having that conversation back on the show again, so we can put it out to others who didn't get to go last time, or maybe there's new people that have come along to the show, new subscribers, new followers. That if you want to come along, you are absolutely more than welcome. So if you don't come from the area, or you don't actually know where Bovington is, you can hit it up with a very quick Google search. Get onto Google Maps if you want. I've always got to look at maps to see where things are. That's how my brain works. Yeah, and see if it's a trip that you can make if you want to make it to come along with us. I'm hoping to get some Easy 8 merch ready to go there so that we can go, flaunting the flag, so to speak, and make a bit of a presence there, and it'll be cool. We're going to get to go back and see all the bits that we didn't get to see all the bits that we did, but we want to see them again because there's a lot of cool stuff. Take more photos, ask questions, get the answers to those questions that we've been thinking about. I'm really looking forward to it. For me, what I particularly like about it is because I like to paint tanks in realistic ways, I get into studying them, and I get to see the real physical thing for those things that I've been studying. They're no longer in books, they're no longer in stories being told. It's sat right in front of me, and what makes that even more cool is that it's a real tank that has actually been used in the conflicts that we see in popularized media, films and things like that. And it's not fun like, oh yeah, cool, war film. It's, oh crap, it was an actual thing where bad things actually happened, and it makes it all very, very real. And I can stand and sit and look at a particular thing, I suppose much in the same way as going to like a painting museum, like a painting gallery, and finding some sort of muse looking at a painting. I get that with the tanks as well. It's very humbling knowing that people 80 years ago drove these things not knowing if they were ever going to get out of them. That sounds like I'm putting a bit of a downer on it, but that's the reality of it, and I think it's very important for people to understand that. That's exactly what a museum does, right? So yeah, we're getting ready for a road trip, as Jeff's put in the live chat. Yeah, if you are interested, do get talking to us. Come along to the Easy 8 Discord channel, the after party. Come and chat with us over there if you want to. If you don't want to talk to us directly, you can just put it in typing. That's cool. We talk all the time on Discord. You can leave comments in the comment section to this video if you want to. You can find us on Facebook, and the links to all the platforms that Easy 8 is a part of are all in the description of this video, just down the bottom there. So if you want to go and have a little look at them, please do. And if you're not already a subscriber, please do subscribe. Please do follow us on Facebook. I was a bit sloppy on that one. Let me just wash the brush out and see if I can just wash that white out. Just kind of overran a little bit down the bottom there. Oh, it's all got a bit mental now. Come on. That's cool. So that's one side of the 3 done. Going over to this 3 over here. And I think, get all my numbers and trims painted up this evening, which is less than I wanted to do, but it's still good effort. And then throughout the week I can finish off my finish gate. That'd be cool. And then get the concrete all painted. I wanted to put a little bit of texture on those concrete plinths, because concrete isn't smooth like that. I mean, you can make concrete very smooth, but you know, typically if it's just like poured concrete, it's going to have texture to it. And if it's on the side of a dirt track, road track, or whatever, you know, racing track, it's going to have lots of dirt and grit and stuff all over it. So I kind of want to add some texture and stuff, so that when I stain them to make them look like old dirty concrete, it'll have something to kind of run in and around. Lost it just a little bit on the back of the 3 there. Got a little bit of that paint into that. It's the first time it's really happened to that degree, but it's gone into that little laser etched groove, and it really does stand out. And that's why I was trying to avoid it. I might be able to go and like black that out later on. Got a little bit of Nuln Oil in there, just a tiny amount, and yeah, neaten it up a little bit. I am starting to get a bit of a headache again. It comes and goes. It's not as bad as it was the last week, and on the days after the show it got pretty uncomfortable, to be fair, to the point where I almost didn't go to work one day. That's pretty cool. Just got neaten up the edge there. Probably do with washing the brush out, actually. It's probably what's my main problem right now. Lovely. So that's my 3 done. Cool. And now I'm going to go over to my number 4s. Kez says, finished my current mechs pics on Easy 8 Facebook. You finished the project. Well done. You can have an Easy 8 point. I don't know what they do. I know what they do. Yeah, you could buy a prize with them once you've saved up enough. At the end of the year, you can buy like a boat or something for just 500,000 points. Don't you feel lucky? I'm going to paint the top of that one there again. It's gone quite... Oh, look, there's another dry bit. Let's get rid of that. Bye-bye. Cool. Right, my number 4. I like painting 4 because it hasn't got any curves in it. Here we go. I have to wash that brush out. It's not doing its thing. Do your thing. Perhaps I could do with a little bit of water in that paint. Just a little bit. I'll add a bit on my brush, there we go. That might help. It might be because it sat in the pot for a little bit, in the palette, and it might be drying out a little. Another reason why I don't like pouring too much paint in. But it was an accident this time. Oh, did it again. I've gone on to the blue bit. It happens. It happens. Itchy finger, itchy finger. Okay. Paint's being a bit awkward to use. It's definitely because it's just drying up a little bit. It's particularly hot in the studio, not as hot as it has been. That's probably having an effect on the paint. There we go. Add a little bit of water in it. If I add too much water, it's just going to run away from me. It's going to start running into that that outline. I'm just trying to be very careful the amount of water that I bring to it, little bit by little bit. But if I'm too long in mixing it, then it just dries out. Excuse me. Okay, 1-4 done there. I think I'm going to have to keep on adding little bits of white to the trim just as I'm going, just because it is still quite opaque. Quite opaque, translucent, sorry. That's what I meant. paint was building up quite heavy on the ferrule there, and you never want that to happen. You never want the paint to go up too far into the bristles. If it starts to do that, wash it out. If it dries in the ferrules, it's going to ruin your brush, and if it's an expensive one like this one, done. We are getting close to the end of the evening, so if you've got things that you want to talk about, subjects that you want to bring up, questions, answers, just general insults, now's a good time to do it. Jeff says, I quite like the clean, maybe a ton of rush ain't needed, still make me think of the Thunderbirds though, don't know why, I think it's the font, man. I think that, yeah, looks like the font that's actually on Thunderbird 4, for example, doesn't it? I think. I love Thunderbirds. I think it's brilliant. Yeah. I'm not rushing them. You're right. I do like them clean. I'm not going to grime them. The sort of weathering I was thinking about was just doing like bright spots of rust, and I was going to do it very sparsely, just to bring a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of something, a little bit of, you know, points of interest to it, just to kind of break up the amount of silver, because, you know, that's quite a bit there, isn't it, really? That last little bit, it's very exciting. It's still quite translucent and stuff all the way around, but like I said earlier, it won't take very much to kind of go around just neaten that up. That's cool, man. Right, just going to put a bit more on these trim. Got a rogue bristle on this brush now. Trying to control it, make sure it doesn't like draw a line of white perfectly on the blue bit as I'm tracing along the side of the trim here. But I think that would naff me right off. Now I'm to hit the silver again. I think I'm a little bit paintbrush tired. What I'm going to be doing for the rest of the evening, for the short amount of time that I'm going to be on Discord this evening, is I'll just go around and probably clean up the little mistakes and errors that I've made tonight, so that I can rest easy knowing that all my mistakes are covered up. And the reason I'm not going to be on Discord for ages and ages today is because I've got a very early start tomorrow morning at work. I'm on a very long week. It's quite common for me to do long weeks. I quite often do 10, 12, 14 day weeks, and then I get like a big cluster of time off, like 3 or 4 days. The nature of my job means that sometimes I do very long weeks, and I'm in the middle of a 10-day week at the moment. So I'm alright, but in a couple of days I'm going to be quite tired. So I'm just trying to pace myself basically. I want to burn myself out halfway through the week. That last little bit just on the bottom there, we go. Okay, yeah, all my numbers and trims are done. That's great. The start one looks like it could do with a little bit of an extra sort of layer on that side there, because that one looks very bright. This one here looks a little bit translucent, so I could probably just kind of use the last few minutes of the show here and do that one as well. Okay. Oh, my shirt's digging into me. There we go, that's better. Just in case you were thinking that, like, I find cloth, a cloth shirt to be a painful thing. It was the button on my sleeve was pushing into my elbow. I can see that one coming back to me later on in the comment section. Nice. That's much better. Make sure I'm in shot there. Jeff says rust. Yeah, rust will be cool. Rust will be cool. Staffer says, so I put the Pack 40 next to my Tiger. It's not that big. What, the Tiger's not that big, or the Pack 40? Keston says, looks big in the pictures on Google. That's because the Tiger's a big tank, man. The Pack 40 is, as far as I know, is a big gun. Last little bit, just over the top of that little pokey out bit there, which I've ruined on so many other ones. Can I get away without ruining it? Apparently I can. There we go. Yeah, lesson learned. Don't rush things, it's fine. I think that looks really cool. I think that perfectionist that I was talking about is starting to come out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop doing that. Just compare both sides. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? I'm really, really happy with them. I think they look so cool. They're so simple and they were so affordable and they were really, really good. Yeah, Jeff says nothing's big next to a Tiger. Yeah, there you go, you see. Staff, did you paint the Puma in martini colours? Because of course your last team you painted was all about the martini sponsorship, wasn't it? Or have you just painted them because a different team? Have you painted a different colour scheme entirely? What is your Rutherford scheme? I'd love to know. So, there we go. Pretty much at the end of the show there. I've managed to do three sets of number gates, and I finished off the start gate, which is cool. I've yet to get stuck into finish. I would like to do that tonight on Discord, but I am getting quite a headache, so I don't know if I'm going to get stuck into that one. I can see Chimera Wargaming has joined us. Good evening to all. Hi Chimera Wargaming, I hope you're doing well, guys. Thanks for coming along at the end of the show. It's always nice to see your face, or your name pop up in the live chat. I hope you're all doing well, guys. Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to do that tonight. What I am going to do on Discord is I'm going to neaten up the little errors that I've made. For example, if I move over to this one here, you can see just at the bottom of that blue line where I've... Oh, that's a very messy brush. You can see where I've got like a white line going across there. Can you see that? Is it coming into focus? Yeah, proper ruined it. It's very, very obvious to my eye. So I'm just going to neaten those little bits up. There's a couple of little overspills on gate number 4. You can see that I've got a big lump of white just on the edge of the silver bit there, just here. That's got to go away. So yeah, some neatening and tidying, etc. Stapper says, no, Martini team is my Mishkin, Highway Patrol is black and white, and Rutherford is going Dunkelgelb. For all the Germans out there who like me saying Dunkelgelb in my native country accent. Anyway, let's come away from here. And the camera's still working, yeah, brilliant. Sorry Chimera Wargaming that you've come in at the end of the show again, but I do understand that that is because of things that you do. You can't always come in at the beginning of the show, but it is nice to see your name there. Yeah, like I say, I hope you're doing well. Hi to all of you over there. Yeah, obviously you can watch the show back in playback, so if you want to watch what I've been doing this evening, kind of read back on the live chat, answer any questions, or just kind of get involved in the conversation, please do that. I read everything that goes through the comment section of the channel. It's not a very big audience on Easy 8, so it's very easy for me to kind of go through all the different platforms and engage with you all. And I do enjoy it, so yeah, do get involved. If you have been doing something this evening, if you've been working on a project, I'd love to see it. So please, if you're so inclined, take photos of your projects and post them up on the Facebook page. Wrong one. Post them up here on Facebook, Easy 8 on Facebook, because I'd love to see it. If you want to take photos of course. If you want to come and join us at the Easy 8 after party on Discord, here it is, just there. There's a link to it down in the description, as all our platforms are all down there. So if you want to click away, you can come and join in whatever conversation's going on, whatever platform, that would be cool. If you want to come and join me in the physical world and meet me and the community who want to kind of get together and go to the Bovington Tank Museum, please do again get in contact. You can either contact me directly through Facebook, you can have a chat about it on the Facebook page, yeah, got the right one. You can talk to us this evening or any evening on Discord, or down there in the comment section. So that's the Bovington Tank Museum. I believe I have left a link to Bovington Tank Museum down there in the associated cool places to go and visit. So yeah, go and have a little look. It's a wicked day out. There are other things to do in the area, so if you're coming from further out, or if you're even coming out from another country, that'll be cool. And then there are other things to do in the area as well. So yeah, let's make a day of it and kind of get the community back together again, and have a wicked time down at the Tank Museum. I'm really stoked. I'm really looking forward to it, and I love the fact that the community is getting together and going off and doing cool things. And I'm a real hoot. You should definitely come out and hang out with me. Anyway, I've had a really good evening, even though I've got a bit of a headache, even though that camera there, which is very unusual, stopped working for a little bit. Thank you very much for coming along and keeping me company. Keston says, please make it a Sunday. I will do my very best. Let's put it out there to the community. So yeah, if you like what we do here, please do like, follow, and subscribe. Every little bit helps me make the channel grow, get better. Bitter? It doesn't make me get bitter. It makes it get better. Spread the word. Tell your friends about Easy 8. Get them to come on over to the show. Get them to like, follow, and subscribe as well, and get them painting their backlog of painting and their grey unpainted mountains of stuff that we've all got. Thanks very much for coming along. Keep me company this evening. It's quite a slog painting all this stuff. I'm getting there. Until next week, stay safe, be kind, keep on painting, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care now. Bye bye. Gonna go on a road trip, singing a song that I've just made up. I can't sing.